Lion King was directed by Jon Favreau this time around. This is the adaptation. I hesitate to say live action.
Lion King, the Snow White live action.
Snow White live action.
New live action Snow White.
Out Moana live action.
Stick, just can't bring myself to go out and spend more money on another pointless reboot. Another pointless reboot. Another pointless reboot. Another pointless reboot. Another pointless reboot.
It feels like every time a new movie gets announced, you've already seen it. Another remake, another reboot, another sequel from a franchise that ended 10 years ago. And the comments are always the same. Why can't they make anything original anymore? But what if that's the wrong question? What if Hollywood isn't out of ideas? What if it's responding to us, the audience? Let's talk about it. Reboots and remakes aren't new movies. Hollywood has always recycled stories, but the scale is bigger and different now. And in the last decade, we've seen constant revivals. I'll list off a few. The live-action Lion King, a remake of a 1994 classic. Live-action Snow White, a remake of the 1937 film. Live-action Moana, a remake of a movie that isn't even a decade old. Ghostbusters, rebooted for a newer generation. Jurassic World, a continuation of a 90s franchise. The Batman, another reinterpretation of a story that we've heard every other year. By the way, The Batman is a great movie. This isn't to hate on that. It's not nostalgia, it's a strategy, because original ideas are risky for companies to pursue. Familiar ones are safe, and safety makes money. Movies cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make and market. Studios don't want to gamble that kind of money on an unknown brand unless they have to. A reboot comes with the built-in awareness. You already recognize the title, you already know the world, and you already have an emotional connection. That alone lowers the marketing cost, and it lowers the psychological barrier of you buying a ticket. And in an industry that's driven on opening weekend numbers, that really does matter. And if it were purely financial, we wouldn't care as much. But what makes this really interesting is that we are living in an era of uncertainty. Economic anxiety, cultural shift, and technology is moving faster and faster every day. When the present feels unstable, the past feels safe. Reboots are like comfort food. Watching Spider-Man No Way Home wasn't just about superheroes, it was about revisiting versions of characters that people grew up with. It wasn't new, it was familiar. And familiarity reduces anxiety. There's research showing nostalgia can actually reduce stress and increase feelings of belonging. When you revisit a story from your childhood, you're not watching a movie, you're reconnecting with a version of yourself. And that's powerful for sure, and studios understand this. So instead of selling you a new world, they sell you your own memories. Original films still exist and they're still being made by talented writers, directors, and producers. But they rarely get the same marketing push because originality doesn't come with a guarantee. You can't predict how an audience will react, and a reboot has that type of data. A franchise has that type of history, and modern Hollywood hates uncertainty. Streaming intensified this. When platforms like Netflix measures engagement down to the second, risk becomes measurable, and measurable risk is usually avoided. Reboots aren't automatically bad. Some reinterpretations are genuinely interesting. Cough, cough, The Batman. But when repetition becomes the dominant model, creativity narrows down. Mid-budget original films disappear, and new voices struggle to break through. And audiences start to feel fatigued. You can only revisit the same world so many times before it loses its magic. Something like Toy Story. Although I am excited for this new movie, it does get tiring to see new movies about Toy Story every other year. So yeah, it's easy to blame studios, but reboots make money because we the people are buying the ticket. We show up, we click, we stream because deep down we like the familiarity. We like knowing what we're getting, we like the comfort, and comfort wins over curiosity. So maybe Hollywood keeps rebooting the past because the future feels unclear. Maybe we keep watching because revisiting something familiar feels grounding. But here's the trade-off. If we only consume stories we already know, we stop discovering new ones, and discovery is how culture moves forward. Reboots aren't a sign that creativity is dead. They're a sign that risk is expensive. Nostalgia sells, and that familiarity is comfort. The real question isn't why Hollywood is repeating itself, it's whether we're ready to reward something new. Thank you for watching. I love you guys. God bless. More videos to come soon. I got something special for y'all next week.